Hello friends, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. My name is Bree and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite books of 2025 so far. Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, I am notoriously bad about doing like top 10 lists because I read so many books and it's so hard for me to narrow it down. So I thought that doing like mini top 10 lists throughout the year is a good way to like actually figure out what my favorite books of the year are because it like goes as I go. So also I did a lot of rereading so far this year and I'm not counting any rereads in my top 10 books, like only books I've read for the first time. So with all of that said, coming in at number 10, we have The Favorites. I absolutely devoured this book. I listened to it on audio and I honestly think audio is the best way to read it. This book has a lot of like mixed media and it's kind of an interview documentary style and I feel like the audio really made that come alive. This is like Carrie Soto is Back meets The Toxicity of Magnolia Parks and also Daisy Jones and the Six. Like I ate it up. I couldn't stop reading. I was actively rooting for the couple while also like not wanting them to be together while also knowing that they belong together. It was a whole mix of emotions. I swear by this book. It is so good. Coming in at number 9, we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. I went into this book a little hesitant because the Love Light Farm series was not my favorite. Love Light Farms was okay. In the Weeds, one of my top books, 5 stars. I loved it. And then the last 2 books I didn't really like at all. So I was like hesitant. I didn't know if I was going to love this, but I had several friends listen to it and love it. My mom listened to the audio and raved about it. So I picked up the audiobook and it was phenomenal. Again, audio is the way to go with this book. The podcast little snippets in between chapters fully made the audio fantastic. I loved Lucy and Aiden. I loved the single mom. I loved the like banter between them on the podcast episodes. Phenomenal. Coming in at number 8 is Stealing Hearts by Lex Martin. I feel like Lex Martin is a very underrated author in general. I actually discovered her on Book Talk of someone posting a random book from the Varsity Dad series, which is all about different single dad scenarios on a football team. So I picked that up, I read that whole series, and then this book is the first book in a spin-off series. So you meet the main female character in the last book of the Varsity Dad series, and this is basically her brother's best friend. She's been in love with him for years and pining after him. When they were in high school, she told him that his girlfriend was cheating on him, even though he was going to propose to her, and he didn't believe her, so he stopped speaking to her. So they haven't spoken in years. Now she's come back to town. She can't live in her house. He's about to lose their ranch if he doesn't find out a way to secure a bank loan. So he needs her to become his wife to show that he is a stable man. I ate it up. He's a single dad. I loved their relationship. The pining and the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Absolutely fantastic. Coming in at number 7, we have Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, but also I was really nervous because the original Hunger Games trilogy was one of my favorite books as a child. Then The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out and I did not love it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I just wasn't sold on it and I felt like we didn't get as much action as we had in the previous books. So when Sunrise on the Reaping was announced, I was super excited for Haymitch's story, but also a little cautious. She knocked this one out of the park. I can't even put into words how much I love this book. I binged it in 7 hours. Like, I did not move from the couch the whole time. It was so good. It was heart-wrenching. The foreshadowing that she did in this book for the Hunger Games series that is reflected in the Hunger Games series and shows how much of a continuity she had in her mind for how this world was going to play out is... I get like a masterclass. First of all, the way she was able to subtly lay the plot within this book blows my mind. It was so good. At number 6, we have Merit by Devney Perry. This is the 4th book in the Treasure State Wildcat series. I've loved every single book. Devney Perry just writes in a way that fully sucks me in every time and keeps me totally enthralled the entire book. This is sports romance, fake dating, kind of loath to love. They were childhood friends, then they had a falling out, they haven't spoken in years, and now they kind of hate each other, while also still having that underlying care for one another. His mom is dying from cancer and her dying wish is for them to reconcile, and so they agree to fake date so his mom is happy, but they obviously fall in love during it. I loved it so much. I thought grief was really explored well in this book, and the like third act conflict breakup was handled really well and in a unique way versus how I feel like it normally is, and I ate it up. Coming in at number 5, we have Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I think this book needs so much more hype. In my opinion, it is the next big romantasy book that you will see all over the place. This is like Fourth Wing meets Zodiac Academy with Game of Thrones direwolves. Like, I ate it up. There's deadly trials. They're trying to compete to become leaders of this wolves, but there's a like vampire enemy, and there's so many different moving parts and so many different plot twists that I didn't see coming, and some that I did see coming but were executed so well that I didn't even care that I saw them coming. I had my mind blown so many times, and the thing that I really wanted to happen did happen at the end, and I loved it. The cliffhanger is brutal, but the next book comes out in July. If you love romantasy books, you need to download this immediately and read it. Coming in at number 4, we have Watch Me. I devoured this book. I loved the Shatter Me series, the entire series. I reread it earlier this year in anticipation of Watch Me, and I'm so glad I reread it because it just brought my love for all these characters back full frontal. James from Watch Me is like the perfect combination of Kenji and Aaron. I just ate it up. I loved all the little like cameos from the characters from the first series. I love how much was left open in the first series, so this world has so many places to go. It is really creepy and eerie and just like, ugh, gives you shivers at some points because you don't know what's happening and you know how dangerous the concepts are that are being played out. Rosabelle was a very interesting female main character. I feel like she's the female version of Aaron, but almost more traumatized, if that's even possible. James and Roosevelt together were so great, and this book is really like the foundation. Like, you're just getting world building, you're getting plot building, you're getting character development. You haven't really gotten into like the nitty gritty of things yet, and the way this book ends is devastating and opens up the next book to so much. I cannot wait. So good. 5 stars, no notes. Coming in at number 3, we have Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Yes, there are 2 Devney Perry books on this list because she's phenomenal. This was her romantasy debut, and I was a little nervous because when contemporary romance authors go into fantasy, I never know how they're gonna pull it off, especially because world building is like my favorite thing in the whole world. So I really want it to be good. I want it to be thick. I want it to be dense. I want it to take up a lot of time. And this knocked it out of the freaking park. One of my top books of the year, obviously it's number 3, but also definitely my top romantasy book so far. I feel like it killed the game. The plot was thick and rich and unique and refreshing. The monsters she created were so imaginative. I loved Odessa. I loved the Guardian. I loved the Prince. I loved everyone. I think that a lot of people go in and they're really confused because so much is left unanswered at the beginning, but that's the way it's supposed to be because you're figuring things out as Odessa figures things out. And by the time you get to the end, you're just so invested, and then you get wrecked. The last 100 pages destroyed me. So many things kept happening, and I was like, no. It didn't matter. It was so good. I cannot wait for book 2. Every time she posts on Instagram, I'm just looking to see if there's any information because this book rocked me. It's going to be a trilogy, and I cannot wait for book 2. My number 2 top favorite book of the year is Beautiful Exile by Catherine Cowles. I love Catherine Cowles. I'm her number 1 stan. I will talk about her books until I'm blue in the face. She is that good. Romantic suspense is my favorite genre. I was so excited for this book. Arden and Lincoln is one of my top tier couples of all time, I think. Arden was so different than what I was expecting, and so her book really blew me away. It went in so many different directions than what I was expecting, and her and Link's relationship was just beautiful and heart-wrenching, and watching her learn to be vulnerable and trust her instincts again. The twists in this also got me I did not see them coming, and some I did see coming, but then more happened, and I just couldn't keep up. So good. And my top book of the year of 2025 so far is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. The Windy City series is my all-time favorite sports romance series for sure, possibly my all-time favorite contemporary romance series. I gave every single book 5 stars. These characters own my entire soul. I love them so much. I think Liz Tomford has a gift with character development and found family development, and this whole series is just so rich in that. Rio has been around since the first book, and I've wanted his book since we met him, and so I knew that it was going to wreck me. Then it was announced that it was Second Chance, which is my favorite trope, and I just was frothing at the mouth, honestly. I got this book, actually it was delivered like a day early from release date, and I immediately started it. I binged it in less than 24 hours. It was everything I wanted and more. Rio and Hallie's story was beautiful. The second chance, the back history of their lives together, watching them grow as children to adults and seeing all these different conflicts that happened externally that made them who they are. The conversation that Hallie has with Rio's mom, I thought was so well done, and I loved the way that it came about. The communication in this series is top tier. Everything about it. It's my favorite book in the series so far, and that's saying something since every book was 5 stars. It was so good. I also really loved how music played such a big role in this. I cannot talk about it enough. If you love sports romances, you need to binge this series, basically. So good. And that would be my top 10 of 2025 so far. Let me know if you have any of the same ones, what your top reads of the year are so far that I should add to my TBR. Let's get into it. I can't wait to see what you have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.